Hey, yo, how's it going, everybody? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to those of you who do celebrate it. Hopefully y'all have been having a good break or just good vacation or whatever you've been doing, and I hope y'all have a really great new year as well. So a quick little summary of what this video is. I was a part of a lot of leagues this year, and I feel like I had some very nice and very good entertaining battles as well. So I kind of wanted to make a top 10 list and let you guys know what I think were the top 10 battles that I had in the draft league format for the leagues that we were a part of this year. So yeah, we were a part of quite a few of them, GBA D League, P4G, and NPA, to name a few. So quite a bit there to pick from. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy this, hit that thumbs up button down below. Let me know whether or not you agree with this list. Also, I thought about doing top 10 worst draft league battles, because trust me, I had some doozies this year. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. All the battles will be linked down in the description. I will not put them in the order that I will be listing them in this video, because I do not want to spoil anything for you guys. So yeah, I'll make sure to title all the links and stuff, and you guys kind of click around there if you want to see any of these matches, or if you may have missed any. So first things first, I want to start with honorable mentions. Are typically done before number 1 is announced, but I just kind of want to do it right now to get out of the way. So we have 4 honorable mentions. APA Season 3 Finals against Kyle A. That's where we were able to win our first championship of this year. Not a very spectacular match, but enjoyable if you do want to see us gain our first championship win. Honorable mention number 2 is NPA Season 4 Week 4 against Console Cast Blue and his Tapu Koko Puffs. This is basically Slurpuff just kind of getting a 6-0 sweep, because it was able to take advantage of Tapu Bulu's grassy terrain, which honestly I feel like Tapu Bulu is the worst of all the Tapus, because if you're just able to give your opponent free recovery, that's really bad for you, and that can definitely benefit your opponent so much. So moving on to our third honorable mention, we have GBA D League Season 4 Week 2 against Melon Tossington. I can't say that name at all. And this was a matchup where I legitimately just got 6-0'd by Charizard Y. No matter what I did, but I was able to pinpoint that there's no chance he should want to bring Air Slash, and Asalves Inferno was able to wall Zard Y, and then from there we were able to pick up a victory. Very enjoyable and good game. And then our final honorable mention is PGBL Season 2 Week 4 against Johnny GB, and where again it was another just horrendous matchup against me, and I had to pull out some wild ideas in order to win, which was baton passing Aqua Ring into substitute Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Spite Zygarde. So yeah, that was a very fun, interesting battle. But with that, let's go ahead and get this started. At number 10 here, we have NPA Season 4 Week 3 versus Redithan, where this was, I believe, the only loss that Redithan actually took up until he had to leave, and I do believe he gave up a couple forfeit losses, which really sucks, because I was the only actual person to beat him, and at this point I think he was undefeated and we had 1 loss. So we were able to put up a really good fight. This was an amazing back and forth match where Scar from Mamoswine definitely proved its worth, and I think the match just came down to a damage roll. So yeah, very intense, close match if you guys want to go check it out. At number 9, we have Arcanine 9 League Week 2, which is actually the most recent battle I just uploaded, and I didn't want to put this a little bit higher just because all the other matches have a little bit more of significance value behind them. Like, I wanted to take into consideration the story behind the battle and how intense or how well played the match was, and there was no real story behind this match here for Week 2 of the Arcanine League, besides the fact that I had a really good matchup and I kind of dropped the ball, but we were able to just barely pull out the victory and get a win. But throughout the entire match, it looked like we were just really in the back foot no matter what I wanted to do, and it seemed way more intense than it actually was. But I feel like if you watch the battle, you can kind of feel how tense I really was during that game. Like, it was very obvious that I was not in a very favorable position up until like maybe the last couple turns of the battle. So yeah, very intense, fun match if you guys want to watch it. Moving on to number 8 here, we have NPA Season 4 Week 7 versus Crimson Seabed, coach of the Detroit type Gnolls. This was a very fun battle, mainly because I remember it mostly due to the end game that occurred, and right after I finished, my parents actually knocked on the front door of my house. So right as I finished that game, I was like, oh, here. I was like, and it was nice because I couldn't have been upset about the loss. Like, it sucked that we did lose that battle, but I really feel like if I had been more aggressive with Fire Blast rather than Flamethrower, I would have had a chance to win, but it would have come down to whether or not we hit or missed Fire Blast. So at that point, I was still playing with chance. Regardless, though, it was a very fun, good battle. Definitely check it out if you guys want to see me have a good loss. So moving on to number 7, we have GBA D-League Season 4 Week 1 versus Crobat for the win, aka Danza. We were able to face him for Week 1 of D-League Season 4, where we were able to pull out the victory because we had double substitute on Mega Medicham and Rotom Frost, and Z Rotom Frost was able to put in quite a bit of work as well. So very enjoyable battle, I think, to watch, especially if you want to see something very underrated like Rotom Frost put in some work. So at number 6 here, we got MPA Season 4 Week 10 versus Frostfire 14, and he was substituting for one of the coaches. I believe it was Iron Boffin or something. I can't remember the person he was substituting in for, but this match was insanely close. I remember that a miss occurred that might have or might have not mattered depending on a damage roll, and I did not expect this match to be as tough as it was, so it was very enjoyable. This match was definitely one of those games where I thought, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. No, I just walked across hot coal basically. But yeah, it's still a very good battle in my opinion. Next off, we have at number 5, MPA Season 4 quarterfinals versus Dan, aka Drive. I would be louder, but there's people sleeping in my house. So this match was really fun and really back and forth for the most part up until the end game. And I was very scared in this game because of Aurora Veil, and I know A-Drive has a lot of experience with Aurora Veil. Plus, very early on in the game, I let my Mega Gallade get burned, literally for no reason. Like, if you watch the live commentary, I think I even say, yeah, I knew he would Will-O-Wisp, but I was like, maybe he won't, why does it matter? And yeah, that was really dumb of me. But even though Mega Gallade was burned, it was still actually a giant threat, which is what I mainly remember from this battle. But I do remember that it also came down very close, and Scarf Pyroar was able to redeem himself from earlier in the season. So moving on to number 4, we have another A-Drive battle here. A-Drive popping up twice. No more though, I promise. We have P4G Season 3 semifinals against Dan, aka A-Drive. And the main reason why I wanted to have this up here at number 4 and probably above the NPA match was because this game I felt was a lot better played on my end, as where the NPA match I kind of played a little bit sloppy and I was able to kind of gain back my traction in the game, as where here in the P4G match against Dan, I really feel like I didn't mess up whatsoever. I really feel like I was on my A game. I had the ball in my court and I never really let it go, and even though it came down to what Dan thought was a 50-50, I was still in a very favorable position to win, and I really feel like this was the best match me and Dan had out of like the 4 or 5 that I think we played this entire year. This was definitely the best battle that we had, so I would recommend you guys to go check it out, his side or my side. Regardless, it was a really good game. Moving on to number 3, we have GBA D-League Season 4 Week 4 versus It's Snakulator, aka Gregulator. And this is actually very shocking to me because I really feel like Greg has not been as focused on Draft League stuff as he was last year, mainly because I think he's just been busy with stuff and whatever he has going on, which is perfectly understandable. But this match definitely surprised me because it was very back and forth. Greg had an amazing team that he brought against me. I had some solid prep as well. And even though there was a little bit of hacks here and there, the match came down to a damage roll on top of a potential paralysis. And that moment alone will just have you on the edge of your seat. So I really feel like this match was easily one of the best games that I've had this year in the Draft League format. So yeah, Greg, love Greg, very awesome dude as well. Moving on to number 2, we have GBA D-League Season 4 Semifinals versus It's Techno. Prior to this, I had heard Techno's name I've heard that he's actually a very good player, and he's a very well-respected battler. So funny enough, I was his first opponent for the first week he had to play of the D-League, and I was able to beat him. But the reason why I want to put our semifinals match here is because this match, again, was one of those games where I just had a terrible matchup. I really didn't think Techno would bring sticky webs. He brought sticky webs. I was in a terrible position throughout the entire battle. Eventually, I was able to put momentum back in my favor, but I lost because he got a low roll on my Zygarde 10%, and if I remember correctly, he only needed to do like 1 or 2 more points of damage to activate my Ayapapa Berry, and from there I would have won. But he actually got a low roll because the chances were like 66, like 70% almost of him popping my Ayapapa Berry and me being able to win, but I lost because he got the low roll. But either way, it was a very good match, and it's a match where you can really see that even if the odds are stacked against you, you still have a chance. You can still try and pull out a comeback victory. And then finally at number 1, we have P4G Finals against Mr. Pokeaim MD Joey himself, and this is where we were able to win another championship this season, which was very, very awesome. Because Joey is definitely one of the best players in the PokeTubing community and in the Draft League format in general, when he knows what he's doing when it comes to his prep. So yeah, he brought amazing prep. He had Gypsy King, which in my opinion, Gypsy King is easily the best Draft League player, hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And yeah, Gypsy helped out Joey, and then I had some nice prep as well, and we were able to pull out the win and gain another championship this year. So yeah guys, this was a little bit longer than I had expected it to be, but if you do enjoy this, hit that thumbs up button down below. The support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Comment letting me know whether or not you want to see me do a top 10 worst battles I had this year, and if you like this list or not. Again, all the links of the battles are down in the description. With that being said, I will see you all later, most likely before the end of the year. So thank you all for watching. Again, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Later, everybody.